Not what you're expecting, maybe. Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the finale of The Legend of Zelda Majora's Mask. Here to the most unusual of locations inside the moon. After having had my favourite pair of cutscenes, the reunion last episode of Anju and Cafe, followed by the March of the Giants, and the stopping of the moon. Both of those scenes are pretty good alone, but together they just carry so much weight. But that leaves me with an admission to make, ladies and gentlemen. In the pursuit of weight and narrative, I have lied to you. Because of course the couple's mask that we got from completing the Cafe and Anju side quest does have a purpose. So I may have gone back in time, done that purpose, and then come straight back here. And I'll show you what I saw. So if you remember right back from the beginning, there's this lot in the mayor's office who are arguing about what to do. There's one way to diffuse this whole situation, which is the only use, actually, for the new mask we got, the couple's mask. The couple's mask. What a nice reminder. So, a young couple has been married. I wonder, did my wife flee? What? What did you just say? Yes, everyone, we are all worried for our families. Why don't we end this meeting? But Mr. Mayor, this will do. Whether you're stubborn and choose to stay, or you'd prefer to run far away, to seek shelter for your family. That is for people to decide on their own. Thank you for allowing me to put an end to all that pointless bickering. Adults are so stubborn, it is shameful. Here is a token of my gratitude. And we get one of the final few pieces of heart in the game. Well, I may be an unreliable mayor, but at least my family can defend on me. I want to protect my wife. And so that gets us and crosses off the never-ending meeting. I've also gathered some additional stuff. Bottle of Chateau Romani, some fairies, some arrows, some bomb chews. Make sure everything's prepared. So I hope you'll forgive me a bit of narrative misdirection for the sake of emotional weight of one of my favourite scenes in any video game. Just the way it all comes together, the Oath to Order is an amazing bit of music that just really, for me, captures Termina perfectly of just this sad, dying world that's trapped, and there's kind of hope, but only just, and it's... But here things get very different, because this may not have been what you were expecting inside the moon, and indeed, there's children up here. There's 5 of them specifically. And you might recognise the masks they're wearing. You might recognise what they actually look like underneath the masks as well, but that's a whole different can of worms I'm not going to crack into. But we will start with the child wearing the Odolwa mask. Ah, nice weather, isn't it? Masks. You have a lot. You too. Will you be a mask salesman? And I'll play with you. So the masks. Give me some. So, you have to give him some masks. Thanks. You're a nice person, aren't you? Hide and seek. Let's play. Alright, I'll hide. So, this is all optional, but worth doing nonetheless. Each of the moon children is wearing a mask of one of the great spirits of Termina, well, one of the bosses specifically, and you give them some masks, and it will start a little side dungeon. These lead to something very useful in the end, but they also lead to something that's useful in its own right too. Oh no, oh no, oh no. They lead to... There's a heart container in each one as well. Piece of art even. And it's also worth pointing at this time. If something looks strange about the game or feels weird at the moment, what it is look at the bottom of the screen. There's no timer. We are inside the moon, and though this is hardly a surprise when it comes to, Majora's Mask, but time's fucking. We know outside the giants are just struggling to hold up the moon, and Majora's Mask is trying to... Well, Majora, I suppose, at this point. Who knows if it's unclear. But it's being pulled towards the surface, but you have all the time in the world here. It's the first time in, 35 episodes? We've not had a time limit. It's bizarre. But yes, there's a piece of heart in this one. To actually get to the end, what we have to do is time our jump onto that platform, because we need to get specifically onto the yellow one. The pink one won't have enough beans to get us where we need to go. But the timing can be quite tough. Somewhere around here that I want to go, because I want to get it before that thing gets underneath it, is the issue. Or after that. Looks like I'm going for after. Right, let's aim this shot perfectly. Oh, yes! Ah, like a glove. Oh, dear! But then it got by the spiky thing on the other side. Yes, only the yellow will get you enough beans to get over here. And then, down you go. Once you get through this door, the moon child is through here. And he says, "You found me. Hey, I want more masks." And you can give him a second mask. Doesn't really matter what you give him. You can't give him your transformation mask, and you can't give him any mask you're wearing, and I'd hold on to the bunny hood. But other than that, give him whatever the fuck you want. Here, thanks. You're nice. And this gives us the quest, Child's Play. You gave hide and seek and gave two of your masks to the child with the Adola mask on the moon. Can I ask you a question? Your friends, what kind of people are they? I wonder, do those people think of you as a friend? God, Majora's Mask with the hard-hitting questions here, Jesus. It comes out of nowhere, that question. It's always just like, fuck. They all do that. All these moon children ask you a question, it's like, oh no. It just makes you think too much. Ooh, it doesn't like this visual effect we've got going on up here. Anyway, we'll go next with the Gert child. He has the same thing, but he asks for two masks. So I'm going to give him whatever that is, the Keaton mask, and he'll take a second one. We'll give him Gorman's, why not? Fun fact, that was originally called the Circus mask, and they changed it to the Troop Leader mask on this. I guess circuses are seen as bad? Who knows? But yes, each one is obviously linked to the transformation mask of that kind of area. And also has the music in the background, so this has the music from Snowhead in it. So I am going to go on up. This one is potentially irritating as knobs. You'll notice I got some Chateau Romani, that'll be fairly handy for this. All I can say here is hold straight forward here, hit these chests square on, and then let the fuck go of everything. And it should drive itself. You have to have lined it up right. Oh, and it is going to be real close. Oh, cockmuncher. Oh, this is looking much better, though. Maybe it can be close. Oh, it's good to... Stop! Oh, don't stand on those pads, because they warp you back to the beginning. I goddamn had it. You need to get to that point I was up there and then stop. So close. Actually, that was a lie. You actually need to bounce over here. Oh! I just don't seem to stop fast enough. I don't think it's a problem with the game. It's a problem with my brain being slow and stupid. More balls! Oh, there we go. So it's this bit here where you want to take a wee break. We will be continuing on with that, but we're going to make our lives a lot easier first. So, come round to the right here, and you'll see... There it is. So this is where we actually want to go, is this frozen door over here. It's quite straightforward to get to. Just run straight at it, hop up, and hop through here. This is actually the end. The Moonchild is through here. But we're not going to deal with that. The important thing is now, as and when we die, and yes, it absolutely will happen, we now respawn here, rather than all the way back at the beginning. So you just make your own life quite a lot easier. What we need to do now is, there's this bit that curves around there, we need to continue on with that bit. And because we need to get around, of course, to a hard piece. If we start running from, let's say, here, that should give me enough time to build up spikes. Oh, just about. And now we just need to follow this around the end. I recommend holding forward on the left stick and then just steering with the camera. You know what? I'm not even going to bother rolling along here. You can just walk along here for almost all of this. Don't make life any more difficult in this mission than it strictly has to be. Because I've died enough times already. God only knows. Right, that should be enough to bounce me across. And then we're basically done here. Hit these chests straight on and we're all good. Oopsie boogly boogly boogle. You'll notice there's gossip stones around here. If you look at them with the Mask of Truth, they will tell you where to find various masks. If there are any masks you haven't yet got in the game, it will give you hints. Because we get a reward here for having basically all of the masks. And so it's very useful to get some hints on where those are, if we don't have them. With the heartbeats gathered from that, we can now go and just talk to the Moonchild. They won't talk to you if you're transformed, hence why I bunny hood back up. You found me. Hey, I want more masks. And once again, he asks for two masks, so we'll give him the old cow head. And you can have Don Giro, Springtime in the Mountains. And he again asks a surprisingly cutting question. You, what makes you happy? I wonder, what makes you happy? Does it make others happy too? God, they really don't let up. Anyway, unsurprisingly, now we go and talk to the Georg child. And somehow the Georg mission thing, we give him 3 masks, and the Georg mission is harder and more irritating than the Gert mission. So, unsurprisingly, the Gert mission is fish-based, and this one as well is made mildly less irritating by having a Chateau Romani active, because then we don't have to worry about... what's it called? Worry about... Not fish, I can't think of the word fish. Don't have to worry about magic, because obviously this is all swimming-based. So, if we pop down, we need to hit this switch and then swim successfully to the end. Two things make this difficult. No, one thing makes this difficult, really, but we'll get there. So swimming here, got a choice of way, take the left way. There's 3 choices of way in 3 separate rooms. At the end here, we need to successfully porpoise out of the water, and a lot of the angles just make it really bloody difficult to do. I hate it, but I managed it there. If you cock that up, you go back to the beginning, and that's irritating in a number of ways. Here, we have exactly the same concept. Hit that thing to open the gates. And then swim on, and this time, you'll be given a choice of 3 ways, and you want to take the right way. If you take the wrong way, or if you fuck up the porpoise jump at the end of this, you go all the way back to the start, not just to the beginning of this particular one. It's irritating. The timing on this I've just never quite got, but it's about there. No! And I'm all the way back to the beginning. It's going to be a long night for me. Right, take 2. I've complained all game about how shit the Zora Link controls are, and this is really that hammered home into practice. Here we go. And now, in the final one, it does the same thing again. And this time, once again, if you fail, you go all the way back to decision number 1. And you'll be asking yourself, where is the heart piece, Doctor? We've not come across it yet in the Georg trial, and you'd be right. Here, you've got a choice of ways. Take the middle way. The top way is the way we actually want to go, but unfortunately we have to take the middle way, and I really don't want to balls this up, but I'm sure I'm going to do it, because I absolutely suck at the old porpoise maneuver. Right, I need to do this quickly, otherwise the thing closes the gates here. I haven't got enough time. There we go. At least, there we go. There's the heart piece. Now, we need to come back to the point... Basically, there's no good way out of this now. I just have to swim down here and do the whole thing again from the beginning, including cocking it up off camera. So I will see you back at the 3rd decision tree again. So here we take the top tube, and this will deliver us to the end, providing we don't cock up the dismount, which is it's a big ask. You've got to use that thing to time it. Unfortunately, it doesn't end there, does it? No, this one's evil. So you actually have to continue swimming along here, and there's a 2nd dismount, and you've got to make it in time. And you've not got a lot of time. Oh my god, I hate that one so much. But we got the heartbeat, and straight through here, heart piece is the Georg child. You found me. Hey, I want more masks. Let's give him the old pig face, which has literally 1 use in the game, and it's not even particularly useful. The stone mask, that was useful, but no more. And the Garrow's mask. We're getting there. I'm going to have to give up my bunny hood on the next one, but I want to hang on to it for as long as possible, because it's bloody useful. Obviously, it might not be obvious, but for whatever reason, if you then... The right thing, what is it? I wonder, if you do the right thing, does it really make everybody happy? Another deep-cutting philosophical question from the Moonchild. But yes, if you use the Song of Time and go back in time now, as you can do, you get all of these masks back. The stuff that happens on the moon isn't kind of considered real in that way. So you'll notice... Sad child curled up wearing Majora's mask, and we'll deal with him in a second. But for now, we have the twin mold child to deal with, who says the same spiel as everyone else. So we're going to give him 4 masks. And we start the usual hide and seek with him. If you remember my thoughts on Stone Tower Temple, you will realise here as well, it has the same thing of there is no... what's it called? There is no... Brain not working. Transformation mask linked with the Ocarina region, so instead, this is just a fight some people thing. So first off, they throw you Dinalfos. And we know exactly how easily they die, because we have a great fairy sword now. Hey, surprise! Yeah, that was pretty good. And we just kind of proceed on this way. Have you noticed what the Moon Children look like yet? When we get to the next one, Garrow Master. When we get to the next one, have a look at it. Specifically, I want to draw attention to its hair. Because obviously you don't see their face, but their hair looks like someone we've seen before. And it's the host of a lot of theories, and basically a lot of the stuff in the game from this point on has never really been clarified by Nintendo, and I think that's not necessarily a bad thing. A lot of it is is left to as an exercise for the reader, I suppose, or viewer, I suppose, more accurately. But I find it very interesting to kind of speculate about to a certain extent. Oh, he blows himself up when he's done, and a chest appears. But yes, it's interesting to speculate, and I won't be doing that this episode hugely. This episode I really want to be focusing on wrapping up the game and talking about what's really in front of us. I have a bonus episode. It's all about exciting fishing times, during which I'll talk about mad conspiracy theories. Well, not conspiracy theories, just theories generally for what's going on in this game. I'm going to switch back over to I thought I was somewhere that I'm not. Where is my special sword? There's the special sword. This thing will probably rinse an iron knuckle. Oh, you bastard. And there we go again. Oh my god, that's the armor off already. Fantastic. Whoop. Ah. It's been slightly more difficult to get a hit on this one. Oh, yeah. She spun around like a mad woman. And dead. Wow, I was actually correct on that. Good lord, the Great Fairy Sword does some real beans. Well, we get a chest here, which contains 10 Bombchu. What the cock? Where's the damn thing? Is it there? I know there is the thing there that does need to be destroyed. Somewhere about there. This is the only point in the game actually you legitimately have to use bomb chews. Up until now they have been entirely optional. The game even gives you bomb chews at this point. I mean, obviously there's the bullshit bomb chew bowling place, the Honey and Darling one, but that is also, again, optional. This is the first time you have to... And you actually know that's a lie as well, because you don't have to do this at all. But I guess it's the first point of real game that's not even a mini-game that requires you to use them. Anyway, up ahead here is our final heart piece of the moon and of the game in total. Look at that on the bottom screen. We got maximum beans. So that's fantastic. There is a bomb chew thing on the roof. You'll have to take my word for it. It's right the fuck up there. But... oh, okay, I held onto that for too long. For not long enough, clearly. Yeah, don't worry if you haven't got bomb chews, it gives you them anyway. I tend to buy them just to be sure. I don't need to hold them for less than that, certainly. Did they always have those little feet out the back? I'm not sure I noticed that. Either way. There we go. Blow up the ceiling, and then we have fire arrows, because there is a frozen ice switch up there. And I'm finally going to have to take off my beloved bunny hood. It's time to lose it. Because if we go through here, we have the final Moonchild. And he requests, as you can imagine, another 4 masks. We only have 4 masks left, which are not transformation masks. Therefore, what I'm doing here, you can only do if you have got every single non-essential mask in the game. I mean, some of them are kind of essential, but any other than the 3 transformation masks, you need to have got all of them. And if you look at the visualizer, you will notice there is one more hole on masks. The final mask in the game can only be got by getting every single other mask, coming here, and doing this. Can I ask a question? Your true face. What kind of face is it? I wonder, the face under the mask. Is that your true face? Oh, very interesting stuff to think about. And now we face the long jog up to the top of the hill, since we don't have the bunny hood anymore. And yeah, this reminds me vaguely of, it's got a very Xenoblade 2 feel, this single tree on top of a hill. Certainly always makes me think of that. And now we really get towards the end, because obviously there's no one else to deal with here, so it's time to speak to the final child. Look at the hair, look at the sides of the face. Seem familiar? Everyone has gone away, haven't they? Will you play with me? You don't have any masks left to share, do you? Well, let's do something else. Let's play good guys against bad guys. Yeah, let's play that. And he gives you the final mask in the game, the Fierce Deities mask. Could this mask's dark powers be as bad as Majora? Tremendous power is emanating from within. And that finishes up Child's Play. You played with all 4 of the children on the moon. The kid with Majora's mask gave you Fierce Deities mask as thanks. Are you ready? You're the bad guy. And when you're bad, you just run. That's fine, right? Well, shall we play? So, I'm not going to use it quite yet, but I'm going to get Fierce Deity's mask ready there. Containing the dark power of the Fierce Deity. It can only be used in special places. And let's begin the final confrontation. Oh, actually, I want my Great Fairy Sword ready as well, because that's going to be real useful here. Majora's Mask. So time for the final showdown. If we speak to Tackle, she says,
"Remember your battles. When a fight is too tough head-on, you've always had luck approaching the situation from a different angle."
And that is important. We need to do one of two things. Either hit Majora in the back of the mask with a what's it called? With a light arrow, or wait till it does that attack. I kind of missed it there. What you need to do is wait for that attack, charge up a spin attack, and then if it comes near you, fire off the spin attack, and there we go. And you'll knock it flying. He says, not successfully knocking the mask flying. Come on, you ugly bastard. Have a go at me. Nope. Okay, cool. We're going back up then. That doesn't do anything, but it did aggravate him, which is pretty cool. Oh, you bastard. Maybe I need to do a quick spin instead. It's been a while. Oh, nope. Oh, there we go. That sounded good. Yeah, we've knocked him for 6, which means Great Fairy Sword, get some jump attacks in. Nice way of doing some real reliable damage. So, the 4 masks we've freed so far, we got from the rest of the game are now free. And they will irritate the bloody shit out of you if you leave them there. So there's 2 ways to kill them. Either, you notice Majora's Mask shot a laser at us. You can deflect that back at them, or 2 light arrows will take them out. I find the light arrows to be far easier, especially if, like me, you were clever and got... Did I get... No, I'm trying to quick spin Majora's Mask as well while fighting these guys. But yeah, if like me, you were smart enough to get the old Chateau Romani and both of the quiver upgrades, this shouldn't be a problem. Oh god, it's creepy when all the tentacles come out of it like that as well. What is it with tentacles? I don't want an answer to that. Right, that should be all of the other masks down at least, which makes things easier. Let's laser that back. That can be used quite handily to kill other things, but if I move there we go. You'll notice I pulled back there to reflect the mask, the power back at Majora's Mask itself. But unfortunately, it didn't really give me enough of a chance to stun it. But he's doing... Oh no, he's doing it again. So, if I move to there... There we go. It's slightly irritating not having the bunny hood for this fight. Because it helps you move much more easily. But the other mask we've got makes that just as easy. But I'm not using that quite yet. I could use it now if I wanted to, but I'm saving it. I hate everything about Majora's Incarnation. I hate the music, I hate the sounds it makes, I hate the way the battle works, I hate every single part of it, and unashamedly, it's dumb as fuck. Fortunately, it's both easy to fight and relatively quick. You just gotta lock onto him, hit him with a light arrow, go over, do him in a bit with a Great Fairy Sword, and repeat. Oh, the music's so irritating. And this was the fucking music that, when they officially revealed this game, they used this music and showed just a lot of weird shots of Clock Town. It's like, no wonder why people in the Nintendo fandom, even like long-term Zelda fans, why is he doing the Cossack? I suppose they had those models programmed for the Gibdo, so why not use them? But yeah, shit like this is why people think, like, serious Zelda fans even think of Majora's Mask as being the weird one. It's dark and it's got a lot of really cool stuff in, but it has got dumb shit like this, and I wish it didn't, but you know, here we are. Fortunately, as I say, it doesn't last too much longer, don't worry. And with it stunned, we can come in and hopefully finish off this phase. Oh god, it's still going, bloody hell. I do forget quite how long it lasts. Oh, they really did just want to use those animations they had done for the Re-Dead, didn't they? There we go. And now we face its final form, Majora's Wrath. It's pretty powerful in this form and can fuck me up quite easily, but we've got a trick up our sleeves. So Tackle will say to us,
"Observe the enemy. Even the most powerful of enemies has a weak spot. Figure out what it is and catch it off guard."
One of its weak spots is if we transform into a deity of as much dark power as Majora. Time to use our final transformation. Introducing Fierce Deity Link. You may recognize the sound of him. He is Adult Link in a different form. You'll notice he's very different looking. He has the sweet double helix sword, but he's very powerful. His sword, we rarely see this in a 3D game, but his sword shoots lasers when you're fully healed. It uses magic, but obviously we've got Chateau Romani, so we've got an ass ton of magic. You can leather into Majora's Wrath fairly easily. Dawn of a new day.
He's awake!
You guys, you hadn't forgotten about me. You still thought of me as a friend. Did you save me? I thought they didn't want to be friends with me. But they hadn't forgotten about me. Friends are a nice thing to have. Could you be my friend too? You have the same smell as the fairy kid who taught me that song in the woods. I know. Let's do something. Oh, so the evil has left the mask after all. Well now, I finally have it back. Since I am in the midst of my travels, I must bid you farewell. Shouldn't you be returning home as well? Whenever there is a meeting, a parting is sure to follow. However, that parting need not last forever. Whether a parting be forever or merely for a short time, that is up to you. With that, please excuse me. But my, you sure have managed to make quite a number of people happy. The masks you have are filled with happiness. This is truly a good happiness.
Well, both of us have gotten what we were after, so this is where you and I part ways, isn't it? You know, it's kind of fun. Well, it's almost time for the carnival to begin. So why don't you just leave and go about your business? The rest of us have a carnival to go to.
What a prick.
Doctor! Thank you.
And there we have it, the conclusion of Majora's Mask. Thoughts time. I have loved this game. It's one of my all-time favourite games, and I have loved every moment of doing the Let's Play. I'm so glad that it's done well views-wise. It's got a lot of attention and discussion with people. Also, if in case you're wondering about Link leaving at the end here before the carnival, well, here's the Indigogos playing at the carnival. And there's someone with them who's not normally supposed to be there. So maybe Link stayed around a little bit, and he's wearing green trousers, so it's definitely him. But yes, I've loved every moment of doing Majora's Mask. It's been so good, and I've been always very excited to record more of it and to, for when an episode goes up to see what people are going to say about it. As ever, I would really like to reiterate, I may not respond to all comments. I'm not great at it, and I don't have a lot of time for it necessarily. I will always read them. They go to my phone, and I will always read every comment. So please, even if I don't respond, it's great to see all of them, and it's been really great seeing people's interactions with this game. I'm not going to dwell too much on it because I've talked about it in an earlier episode, but this game has been personally quite cathartic for me for a number of reasons, and it's been really cool to do that and to finally tell some of my own personal story with it here. Majora's Mask as a game is brilliant. It's a rare example of a game that's really about a journey and not a goal, and it's about a world rather than a thing. It's one of the earliest examples. This game's from 2000. The world of Clocktown and Termina is such a living, breathing world, and it works so well because you only have 3 days. Everyone has their schedules, they have things they want to get done, and you can help them with that to a certain extent, but not hugely. It really creates this world that feels real. It has sadness and it has darkness in it, and it can be seen as quite a dark game, but that's not what it's about. It's about its people and all the colours that those people can be, and it's not just by people, inhabitants generally, because once you look at the Dekus. And I kind of said this last episode, but it's about the fact that you can help people. You can't necessarily help everyone, but you can help a lot of people. And you should still try to help everyone even if you can't. This is a great touch now. Note the postman running at the end here. This scene you only get if you got the postman's hat. This scene you only get if you got the Kamaro's mask. If you didn't get any of these masks, it'll just be a picture of that mask rotating. And this is kind of a key thing throughout the game that I've talked about. And I'll talk about this more in the bonus episode. What are the masks? This one is if you got the Great Fairy's sword, so actually got all of them freed. There's a lot of talk about what the masks are, but really at their core, the way I've always viewed it is masks are memory. Because they're the only thing that comes back with Link. Is you help people, and then the helping is undone, but you still have the mask. This is obviously if you got the Romani's mask. But you've always got the mask, and in this new day, everything that you were able to do kind of resolves and comes true. Here is if you got the bomb mask. So the events of the new day only happen if you save those things. So it's a lot of the good Link did wasn't wasted or anything like that. It was stored up in the form of the masks, and when he was able to break all the shit that was going on with Majora, like Grog and the chickens, which is with the bunny hood, it all kind of still happens because the memory of those events is held with Link, and that's the thing I really like. It's a really interesting. It's got really clever gameplay. This game as a whole, I would say. The music is fantastic. Gorman Mask, obviously. The music is fantastic. The gameplay is very clever, and it's interesting for a main series Zelda that has no Zelda, no Triforce, no Ganondorf. You get one flashback of Zelda. That's it. Do have some slight issues with it. I feel like it does need a bit more plot. It's still pretty good for plot by Nintendo standards, but I'll talk about the theories of this, but you don't get quite enough of Majora, of the Happy Mask Man, and of the what in the business is called a MacGuffin. The initial motivating factor was Link looking for Navi, and that is just never resolved. That is literally just the initial motivating factor. It's a textbook MacGuffin, but we needed a bit more on that. And of course, this final scene, you only get if you completed the full Anju and Cafe side quest, which we did, and got the couple's mask. And it's a very nice, powerful conclusion to that. I love that quest. I think it's really cool, and basically how it tests your full knowledge of the game world rather than the game mechanics. It like tests have you spoken to people, have you been to the right places, it's just very unique, and its ending is very powerful. And the fact you can, even if you don't 100% the game, you can go straight from that to actually stop in the end. And look at that there. You never see what Cafe looks like when he's returned to an adult. Has he been returned to an adult? We assume so, but you'd never know for sure. And then there's this scene. This is... The Deku Butler said you reminded him of his son, and he's there crying over that creepy statue. That is the main cause of the theory that the Deku Butler's son was essentially consumed for the Skull Kid to place his curse. But at the end here, there's one final thing to talk about as Link goes towards the light, and that's important. The 5 stages theory I've talked about through a lot of this. I don't necessarily buy into this, but a large part of the 5 stages theory is that it's Link dealing with all of those things. Has Link been dead the whole time? Is he going through the 5 stages? The game ends with Link happily going into the light. It's unclear. And obviously the 5 stages thing is entirely a fan theory, but in a lot of ways it holds up with the stuff about the world. I don't know whether it necessarily needs Link to be dead, but certainly... And that's something else as well, the fact that that is the Skull Kid from Majora's Mask, the very same one. Interesting. I've said this many times before, and I'll say it again as well. Zelda games are probably the best games for a Let's Play, because they have just the right balance of plot and of gameplay and of interesting things, and they have like RPG elements that involve like I like a nice Let's Play that I can plan out and do complicated shit with and make sure everything's done in an efficient order. But you can do that too much in your Mass Effect 1 kind of things. But likewise, if there's not quite enough of that, then it's just sit down and play the game, and it's mildly less interesting. I can't make it mine in such a way. It's one of the reasons I do the visualizers, is it's a way of putting my own spin on it, really. And Zelda games are perfect for that, and this has been no exception. I was stunned to see that this is significantly longer than Ocarina of Time. I think of Ocarina of Time as a much longer game, because it's got like 9 or 10 dungeons. This has 4. This tells you how much non-dungeon content there is in Majora's Mask, and just that there is much better. I'd say not necessarily much better, but it's more about the world and the development. Because, especially, I was surprised when I played it that how much of the second half, the adult Link half of Ocarina of Time, is just dungeon. There's almost nothing fleshing out in between, whereas this game is mostly fleshing out. Quite frankly, the dungeons are a pretty minor part of it. And I really like that about it. It makes it a very unique game. And no one has done anything previously or since that's as unusual as anything like the 3-day concept, really. I know a lot of people hate it, but I love it. It's really what gives this game an amazing and such a kind of unique feel. And for me, it allows the world to feel so much more real, is having that ability. The music, as I said, is fantastic. Both the little bits like the ocarina tunes in the game, the way the music generally is used is brilliant, and so many good fan stuff has come off that. If people really like the music of this game, I've got 2 big recommendations. Either of the Time's End symphonies by Theophany, especially the second one, which I particularly like, and the Children of Termina suite by Rosen. Both of them fantastically capture the feel of this game in a musical form. What's next? Going to be a bonus episode, mostly to do with fishing, where I'm going to talk about some theories and my own ideas about this game. There's going to be a wee inter-project, just a little Mario thing. And then, what's my next major project? It's a sequel. It's a sequel to a project I did relatively recently. It's better than the thing that it's a sequel to. It's the ideal sequel, that it's just the same concept fleshed out and better. What is it? Time to find out with a trailer. Thank you very much for joining me on the journey through Termina, and I hope you'll join me for the bonus episode. And then that's basically it. It's been brilliant every moment of it, and thank you for joining me on that. And for one final time, good day.